High school sports fans, Varsity Media Pass is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County playoffs. For semifinal and championship coverage of boys and girls lacrosse, flag football, and baseball, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Varsity Media is the home for New York high school sports.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck. It's an afternoon special, a power conference special from Rockville Center as the Farmingdale Dalers take on the Southside Cyclones on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Today's game is brought to you by Weatherstone, helping Long Island community find financing for their homes for over 30 years. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody. Alongside Tom Rooney, I'm John Perez. And Tom, you couldn't have thought of a better matchup at this time of the year thanks to the Power Conference, Farmingdale and Southside. A battle of the two titans here. It should be a fun one.
Yeah, you have two perennial powerhouses that sort of always meet, but it's usually an early season non-league contest with the Power Conference. It puts them in a really a big game and right in the middle of the season. And there's a lot to play for both teams tonight. This
is a Daler team that has won 4 games in a row, and they're going to be led by 2 of the best players, of course, in Nassau County, probably all of New York State. It's Brendan O'Keefe and Jake Mangio.
Yeah, O'Keefe is an old-school ex-attackman. He's two-handed. He runs the offense from behind the cage. He can score. He can dish. You can see his production is pretty even between goals and assists. And Mangio is a two-way midi for them. He's really important here tonight, John. He's going to match up defensively with either Brady West or DiPietro. One of those guys will get the pole. He'll have to defend the other one. That makes Southside really dangerous, and Mangio has got to play that other midi tonight.
Yeah, Southside coming off a 19-goal performance against New Hyde Park. It was a 19-10 victory for the Cyclones, the home team today, and we'll take a look at our impact players for them as well. It's Michael Aiello and Pat Mullen who's going to have his hands full with Mr. O'Keefe.
Yeah, I love Aiello's game. Aiello is the lefty attackman. He balances this team. You have the big righties with DiPietro and West on the other side, and he does a really good job. He feeds the ball well, really, really smart player. And Pat Mullen is big and long. He's 6'5". You feel like he can get his reach and his 6-foot pole everywhere, and O'Keefe's going to really challenge him behind the cage.
It's the Dalers. It's the Cyclones. It's Under the Lights here in Rockville Center. It's all coming up next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media offers live streaming services for any sport. With human beings behind the camera, you can expect the proper coverage angles during each game. We offer customizable options such as live scoreboard, multiple cameras, instant replay, graphics, and even announcers. Find out how you can save $100 off a live stream package with Varsity Media by calling 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
When it comes to advertising, are you hitting the right audience? Why waste your time with television or a free print publication that's given out at a local deli? Varsity Media has your back. With a following of over 50,000 and a local demographic ranging between the ages of 18 and 54 years old, it's time to get that return on investment. Plus, here's the best part. Your ad lives forever on our YouTube page. And with a large on-demand audience, it's a grand slam to advertise with Varsity Media.
Varsity Media offers live streaming services for any sport. With human beings behind the camera, you can expect the proper coverage angles during each game. We offer customizable options such as live scoreboard, multiple cameras, instant replay, graphics, and even announcers. Find out how you can save $100 off a live stream package with Varsity Media by calling 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
When it comes to advertising, are you hitting the right audience? Why waste your time with television or a free print publication that's given out at a local deli? Varsity Media has your back. With a following of over 50,000 and a local demographic ranging between the ages of 18 and 54 years old, it's time to get that return on investment. Plus, here's the best part. Your ad lives forever on our YouTube page. And with a large on-demand audience, it's a grand slam to advertise with Varsity Media. The rain seems to have subsided as the Cyclones and Dalers get ready to go in Rockville Center, as there is Farmingdale 5-3 on the season. They've won their last 3 games against Southside and will meet their starting lineup by Eric Dunn, the first-year head coach for the defending Long Island champion. It's Brendan O'Keefe along with Alex Lung. Quinn Sunday along with Jack Watrous. We'll talk about him later on. No Caden Lennon today. Sal Basilico, Josh Kama, along with Jake Mangio, Jackson Parisi, Mike Galgano, Matt Ippoliti, and JJ Damo in the face-off circle. And for their netminder, it'll be Jimmy Caputo for Farmingdale today, and Caputo's been fantastic this year, saving 59% of the shots that he faced. So that's Farmingdale. We'll look at the other side now for Southside, and this is a Southside team that is looking for their first victory against Farmingdale since the pandemic, and since before that as well. They're considering this the golden age of Cyclones lacrosse, and why not when you've got Liam Livingston, Griffin Mills, Michael Aiello, along with Owen West, Cole DePietro, Cullen Lynch, Braden Gamberg, Chris Diaz, Will O'Toole, Michael Melkonian, and Michael Muscarella, the netminder here today. And Tom, a lot of locker room talk, a lot of talk around Long Island. Mike Muscarella might be the best goalkeeper in all of Long Island.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen a better goalkeeper this year. He's big in the cage. He's lefty. He's seeing the ball really well. He's got a good defense in front of him, and he's playing at a really high level.
Opening face-off today, as it'll be J.J. Damo against Michael Melkonian, which should be a fun one. Melkonian's winning 75% of his face-offs, and Damo no slouching of himself. And it should be a fun one here today in Rockville Center. As we get set to go for the opening face-off, Cyclones in the home white, Farmingdale in the road, gray and green, and we are underway. And the sophomore battling hard with Melkonian, and now it's a pile-up. And finally, Melkonian's able to scoop it up. That's going to be something that we're going to keep an eye on for today, Tom, is how Farmingdale deals with not winning as much faceoffs and what they do defensively if Melkonian wins the faceoff.
Yeah, I thought JJ did a good job on the first draw there, at least making it a 50-50 ground ball. This is what they're worried about, this sub-game. Southside is so good at winning faceoffs, and they've gotten so good at subbing out of the faceoff game, and they get a lot of goals, and they almost got one there.
That was Griffin Mills, the senior attackman, had a goal against New Hyde Park, who slings it wide to the right. And the Cyclones will restart it with Michael Aiello. Had 4 points against New Hyde Park. And now Southside up top.
Yeah, and it's Owen West here. Sorry, Brady, but it's Owen West.
Bouncing shot, and Caputo got a tap on it. And it skips out of play, and it'll stay with Southside.
Yeah, right now it looks like they're short-sticking one of the Southside attackmen, so they're going to try to double pull the midfield, DiPietro and West, and that leaves Cullen Lynch right now with the ball. He's had a really good year. Yeah,
he's a crafty junior. 20 points on the season, 11 goals, and a team-high 9 assists, as he's been a fantastic facilitator. And when you think of championship teams, you need someone who's going to pass the rock, and Lynch has been that guy.
Yeah, he's kind of the unsung guy on that midfield, and, you really are looking at a kid who's really loving the role, right? Give me that third defender, and I'm going to go and make stuff happen.
Pile up. As Farmingdale, they pride themselves on their defense, as Jackson Parisi's able to scoop it up at a big GB for the Daler and tries to save it. And Southside not going down easily, but Farmingdale comes out of the fray. The whack across, that's Michael Galgano. Only a sophomore. One of the few sophomores on this team, but he really packs a punch defensively.
Yeah, Galgano's excellent. He saw time as a freshman, big-time player there. That was a great play to get him out of trouble.
Well, here is Brendan O'Keefe, 16 goals, 13 assists, 29 points. The U-Albany commit, and he will be a Great Dane. He's already a Great Daler so far, looking to go back-to-back and send his team to a Long Island championship. I guess the last thing on that Daler's checklist for O'Keefe and company is to win a New York State title.
Yeah, it came up obviously a little short last year, but right now they're trying to find their identity this year. The 24 Dalers are, different than that 2023 group. You graduated a goalie who went to Syracuse, a midi, who is at Albany. You have another defenseman, I think, is at Manhattan. They lost a lot, so they're trying to find their identity. But they got guys here. They got guys back, guys like Sal Basilico, Josh Kama here with the ball, and, of course, O'Keefe.
Yeah, and, of course, a first-year head coach, Eric Dunn, taking over for the immortal Mike Hungerford, leaving on a positive note. And I know he's still watching all the way out in San Diego, so thanks again for chipping in, Mike, and paying attention. And, of course, wherever he is, you can take Mike out of Farmingdale, but you can't take the Daler out of Mr. Hungerford and that family. As the drive, here's Josh Kama. And I'm sorry, Tom?
No, I was going to say Hungy is big on the DFL. He's a Daler for life, no doubt. Hopefully he's got the sand out of his ears and he hears it, and I know he's watching. He texted me earlier.
Here's Brendan O'Keefe. Starting and stopping, here's Basilico. Basilico, a fantastic running back. He'll be playing football at Springfield when he graduates. And just a fantastic athlete.
Yeah, I think he's key for these Dalers. He like you said, he's an excellent athlete, big-time running back. So he obviously has some shake and some swerve. They're going to need to get some scoring from the midfield. And Sal's a really tough kid. He's a two-way type of guy. Little here behind with O'Keefe and Kama. Just trying to give O'Keefe the chance to get Mullen off him. Mullen seems to be all over him.
Yeah, and that was Will O'Toole coming in to help. Big rifling shot, and Basilico gobbled up Muscarella, his first save of the evening.
Yeah, we just talked about Basilico getting going, but we also talked about how good Muscarella's been, and Muscarella saw that, probably just a hair out of range for a guy like Muscarella, who's so good.
The last time we saw Muscarella on the Varsity Media Sports Network, it was Southside capturing their first victory over Garden City since 2008, and the Cyclones were riding high. And then afterwards, falling to Wantagh, as we'll get a whistle.
We got offsides on Southside on the clear. Yeah, I think there was a little bit of a hangover effect, right? They beat Garden City, which is such a big emotional win, something they hadn't done. And, listen, I've watched Wantagh play. Wantagh is excellent. They're athletic. They're really balanced. And
shot goal. How about that? A laser off the stick of Brendan O'Keefe. That's his 17th of the year, and the Dalers strike first on the road.
John, when I got here tonight and I heard that Caden Lennon wasn't going to be playing, I thought to myself, this has to be a night where Brendan O'Keefe takes over. He's such a good kid and he loves to facilitate, but you can see right here, he has the ability to shoot. And that's a great shot because there is a screen. Pat Mullen is every bit of 6'5". Why not shoot it right over his shoulder and make it harder for Muscarella to pick up the ball?
Had a big goal against Christian Brothers Academy in the New Jersey school coming to Long Island. That was a 4-3 victory for Farmingdale. Of course, they pride themselves on defense, and we'll get a timeout, and more on that in a second. But while we have that timeout, and Farmingdale will take it, we'd, of course, like to thank our sponsor, Diamond Lacrosse, which is bringing you tonight's game, a performance training company for boys and girls, focusing primarily on developing Dodgers with proven programs to develop better distributors and scorers. The program is run by Ryan Walsh, a 6-year pro for the New York Lizards, and Courtney Fortunato, who was a 4-time All-American at Notre Dame and current Athletes Unlimited Pro. A year-round training service based out of Sportsnet in Rockville Center and All Sports Melville. For more information, to book a session, give them a follow on Instagram and look into what it's like to train with Diamond Lacrosse.
Yeah, that's two excellent players right there. I watched Ryan Walsh train. He is tremendous. I highly recommend it to young players that are out there watching.
No, 100%, and we thank Diamond Lacrosse. And we were talking before about Brendan O'Keefe for Farmingdale and what he's meant to the Dalers so far. Well, it was a 4-3 victory against Christian Brothers Academy, a very good school in New Jersey. And Eric Dunn said he could have went for 2 and 3. He was such a good facilitator in that game. And, yeah, the goals pop out, but he's a complete player.
Right. The way he normally plays. He's doing a lot of feeding, so there's only so much that's in your control. You can make a great pass, guys may not finish, and then he took it upon himself to finish that game off with a goal in overtime to win it. So, yeah, we saw, right there on that first shot, he has the ability to score, and they're going to need it.
Farmingdale's won the last 3 games against Southside, including a road victory last year, and neither win for Farmingdale was in double digits. Last year, a narrow victory, and these two teams always play tough, and Farmingdale, they like to slow it down. That's exactly what they're doing now from X. As this is Jack Waltress stepping in for Caden Lennon. He's only an 8th grader, 2 goals on the season, but a very talented lefty.
Yeah, obviously that's big shoes to fill, literally, with, 6'5" Caden Lennon. But he's a really, really talented kid. The Farmingdale coaches are very high on him. And, you're really getting thrown into the fire here. This outside defense is very good. You talked about Farmingdale being patient. And, these are good possessions. When you play Southside with Melconian on the other side, you always have to take care of the ball. We know that was a key to the game.
Swiping shot off the short hop. Muscarella not able to locate it and then finally clamps it down as O'Keefe was looking for his second.
Yeah, another nice save by Muscarella. But, not bad offense right there by Farmingdale, kind of draining the clock a little bit, and then a great ride right here.
In the fray, who else? Basilico. Comes out of the dust and looks to clear. First ground ball for Basilico. Trouble getting across midfield and finally weaves his way in.
Yeah, we call that a punt return clear, right, John? That's exactly right up Sal's alley. And that's a tough turnover for Southside. You played a lot of defense. Your goalie makes a good save on O'Keefe, and then they ride it right back, and now you're looking at another patient offense with fresh middies coming on from Farmingdale.
Including Dean Cott wearing number 3 on the near side, who receives up top at the 45. Cott only a junior, and someone who can come off the bench, provide a spark. And now we'll just be asked to slow it down, and we'll see Farmingdale again be very deliberate. And, Tom, it's no secret, with no shot clock, you can run the 4 corners and just wait as long as you can. And 4.5 minutes to play, it's only a 1-goal lead for Farmingdale, but a big 1-0 lead.
Yeah, obviously we've talked a bunch this year already about how excited we all are for the shot clock, but it's not here yet. So they are going to take their time, and they're going to go back to this matchup with O'Keefe. Nice pick, good feed.
In front and a quick hitter goal. Quinn Sunday scores his 11th goal of the year, and the sophomore puts the Dalers up by 2.
So I love this action that Farmingdale does here behind the cage for O'Keefe. They go with a big little pick, giving him the ability to run Mullen off a pick just to free his hands enough. And then you're going to see the pick right here. Mullen just has to get around it. He forces a slide, and Sunday just finds himself right into that seam. Nice finish. Good action there by Farmingdale.
It seemed like the word of the day for Eric Dunn when we spoke to him was crafty, but that's exactly what he says Quinn Sunday is. And someone who played the first two games this year on the JV squad. And, some schools will have scout teams, they call it, where the JV will practice. And he was just showing everybody up, and he told the rest of his coaches, we got to give this guy a shot, and he hasn't looked back.
Yeah, some guys have a knack for just, knowing how to score, right? And Quinn is one of those kids. It doesn't always necessarily look pretty or fancy, but it's only about getting it, into the back of the cage, and he can certainly do that. He's proven that already.
Colin Lynch swings it behind the cage, and now it's Griffin Mills. 12 goals, 5 assists on the season, weaving inside, and Southside responds. Griffin Mills. Goal number 13, that makes it 2-1.
Yeah, this is a really good sign for Southside. Griffin Mills is a big kid. He's an athletic kid, and Farmingdale got caught with a short stick on him, and he right away takes advantage, and you see his skill level. He's a righty going to his left hand there, and he seems to be getting healthier and healthier. I think he had a knee, issue earlier in his career, but he really looks the part right now.
And off the violation, and this is what Southside can do for you if they win possessions, now set up their offense. And you're right, Mills did a lot of spot duty last year, and is now finally at full strength, and this is what Steve DiPietro and the rest of the coaching staff had envisioned for Mills.
Yeah, you know, if you're going to make a run with all the goals and aspirations that Southside has, you got to get more scoring than just West and DiPietro and Aiello. You know, Lynch has done a nice job, and now if you can add Mills and Livingston in the mix, you really got, you know, that six-man offense that can be dangerous no matter what the matchup is.
DiPietro, the roll over to Lynch. Lynch on Basilico, up top to Petro. He gets picked up by Michael Galgano and cradles it back out. Looks to create, dodging. Lynch starts and stops, flops it over. West steps into it and a bouncing save. Jimmy Caputo ranges to his right and picks it off the ricochet.
Yeah, that's a great sign for Farmingdale. Caputo had a rough first game. I think the season started off a little slow. I think it's always different when you take over a position. But he's seeing the ball better game after game, and that's a big one early against a really good shooter in Owen West.
Jake Mangio gets it across, and Mangio has really concentrated on the D-Midi side of things, but with that's allowed Farmingdale to open up their offense because he's been able to take on that D-Midi role as he goes back across midfield and swap spots with Jack Watrous.
Yeah, Mangio is so valuable. They tried to, you know, let him play a little bit more offense earlier in the year, but, you know, the way they pressure on defense and some of the things they like to do, and he's great in the clearing game like we just saw.
Farmingdale trying to put one on the board before the end of the quarter. Skips off the stick, and now Southside looking for the equalizer. Across it's Jack Lozito. Lozito, nice pass to the long pole. And a save by Caputo initially, but it rolls in. Pat Mullen finds the back of the cage, and we're tied at 2.
Well, we talked about how big and athletic Mullen is, and you see him get out on this break. And Jack Letizio does a great job of just, you know, sort of buying a little time here and finding Mullen. And Caputo does, you know, he sprawls, he gets a piece of it, but not enough. And, you know, I think that's going to feel good for Southside, right? You know, you haven't had the ball much yet. You probably haven't played as effectively on offense as you'd like. But here we are late in the first, and you're tied.
Off the faceoff, here's Melkonian trying to give Southside the lead. It rings off the crossbar. Southside starting to open it up. They've gotten a few past Caputo now.
Yeah, you see how dangerous Melkonian could be. Farmingdale is playing it safe. They are running their LSM, you know, basically to the top of the box on a faceoff to not give up a fast break. And Melkonian is just dynamic, just kind of ran by it and went up right off the top of the crossbar.
36 seconds to go first quarter. What's DiPietro drawing up here?
Yeah, I think you want to hold. You don't want to give Farmingdale a chance to get the ball, so I think you'll see Cullen Lynch here hold the ball maybe till about 20 or so, and then they'll, you know, run some action, probably some picks off ball and things like that, maybe a mumbo on the backside for West.
Good move by Lynch. Drives inside, top left shelf. He scores. 3 unanswered goals by the Cyclones as they get one late in the first quarter to take the lead.
Yeah, I love this for Cullen Lynch. When you get a scouting report, it says Cullen Lynch, you know, is a lefty. He's going to go left, you know, 90% of the time. And you can see the overplay, and he just stays. They actually do run a mumbo, and Farmingdale tries to stay on their matchups, and Lynch does a great job of being confident in that right hand, goes right down the alley for a score.
Violation on Melkonian, and now Farmingdale with an opportunity.
Yeah, I think Melkonian was thinking about one more right before the end of the quarter.
7 seconds to go. Here's Farmingdale. Thrown into no man's land to battle for the ground ball. And with 1 second, Southside does not get the shot off, but they take the lead going to the second. 3-2 Cyclones. Second quarter coming up next on the Varsity Media Sports Network. You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Feel like your game film is too stagnant and not providing you with the insight that your coaches had hoped for? Varsity Media offers game film to help your coaches develop a game plan to execute on game day. Our current clients love the Varsity Media difference, which includes more insightful camera angles and a speedy upload process. Start building your championship team today with award-winning individuals at Varsity Media. Welcome you back to Rockville Center. It's a 3-2 lead for Southside over Farmingdale, and it's time for our Speed Island Speedy Play of the game, which is brought to you by Speed Island. Improve your speed today with Onyx Salva and the gang over at Garden City. Book a session today on speedislandny.com. Well, let's go back to the late stages of the first quarter. Farmingdale got off to the 2-0 lead. Griffin Mills made it 2-1, and then Jack Lozito finding Pat Mullen back of the net. He speeds and puts it in.
Yes, Pat Mullen literally outran everybody down the field with great speed and athleticism for the goal. You kind of see a longer replay here and finishes it with a goal. Every long pole's dream right there. But if you don't have the speed to get down there, John, you'll never score.
Well, Pat Mullen taking a page out of the Onyx Salva playbook. And now another violation, and J.J. Damo wins the faceoff for the Dalers.
Yeah, that was definitely a storyline for us. Could J.J. Damo just neutralize it a little bit, not let Melkonian go off? And I'd say right now he's doing a nice job.
Eric Dunn said earlier in the week that he's got no fear having Damo in the faceoff. He doesn't care who's on the other side. He said there's never been a situation where Damo has let him down, and whenever he's needed to get the big face-off, he's done it. So don't let Melkonian intimidate you, and don't think this is a one-sided affair. Damo can throw punches with the best of them.
Yeah, the one thing with these face-off guys is they all train, together. They often go to the same face-off coaches and things like that. So they've seen each other before. There shouldn't be a whole lot of intimidation.
Here's Brendan O'Keefe. He got the party started with his first goal of the afternoon. And now a turnover.
Yeah, you see the length of Mullen there, just getting a late poke on O'Keefe's hands as he's going to feed. That's the advantage of being 6'5". Nice job by Mullins.
Now Cole DePietro. As his father and head coach Steve says, he's really matured, and he's just going through the process and continues to take it day by day and just gets exponentially better. And there's a save by Caputo, chest high.
Yeah, I love everything about the play. Just, the shot probably not in the placement that he wanted, but could see how much better Cole is getting, bigger, faster, stronger, and even more two-handed.
Might seem insignificant now as there's a turnover, but, Tom, that might be a big save for Caputo, who had a few goals get past him. One squeaker just rolled in, and he's able to make the point-blank save and try and build his confidence again.
Yeah, listen, when a pole comes down the field the way Mullen did and scores, it's really not the goalie's fault. But to your point, that next one, you want to see it and you want to save it, and does a nice job there. I think Farmingdale has too many men on the field right now. They got 7, so you got a free play here for Southside. They're going to get a man up after this unless they score. So, house money right now, if you're Southside, run what you want, get a good look. If you don't get a goal, you get man up.
Lynch working around Pasilico and Jackson Parisi, and now it's Owen West. West will be headed to Bryan after he graduates. A tumble down there, and now the penalty upcoming.
Yeah, I think they're going to just call West in the crease there and go right to the man up.
And so we'll see who takes the penalty for Farmingdale.
This is a dangerous Southside man-up unit. You have Aiello and Lynch. You have 2 lefties. And then you have all kinds of righty shooters in DiPietro and West and Griffin Mills. And then you have the sneak behind, in Liam Livingston. They do a really nice job on the man up. Farmingdale likes the pressure. They got good athletes out there. So this is a good matchup here in the extra man.
Josh Kama taking the penalty for Farmingdale, and now Southside with an opportunity to go up 4-2, and there's DiPietro as he gets guarded on the far side by Matt Ippoliti.
Yeah, and you can see how aggressive Farmingdale is being. And I like this. When it's a 30-second penalty, you have a little bit of a better opportunity to go out and pressure and not get exposed.
Owen West slings it and scores. Goal number 20 on the year for Owen West, and that makes it 4-2 Cyclones.
This is crafty. This is just really confident senior. This ball gets transferred through X, and it gets to West in a spot that I think the Farmingdale defender didn't think he had a good angle, and he just throws a little pump fake, freezes him, and snaps off a shot. Really quick release, great shot placement right off hip.
Give the assist to Livingston. He's got 9 helpers on the year. And second straight game with an assist for Livingston. Out of the pack, here's Melkonian. Weaving. Ball comes ajar and trying to settle his offense. But boy, this Farmingdale defense is so stingy. Even if they don't come up with the ball, it's never easy to possess against them.
Yeah, I think that play right there is exactly what they wanted to do. Do not let Melkonian win faceoffs and go to the cage. You get the sense, though, he's really close, John, right? He, almost had one there. And if you're Southside, I don't think you probably have played great so far, but you have a chance right now to get a 3-goal lead with a good possession.
DiPietro off the screen, swings and scores. Southside starting to pour it on. They go up 5-2.
Yeah, well, this is a good possession, right? This is really good shot placement. This is really good confidence. This is a right-hand midi. You and I have done games when he was a sophomore and a junior, and now you see the evolution. This is to the left hand, up on his toes, and just hammers that corner right there. That's a great shot. Not much Caputo could do about it.
5 unanswered goals by Southside, and they've been by 5 different scorers as well. Petro the latest to do so, the future Hobart attackman.
Yeah, you mentioned 5 different scorers. We talked about that in the opening, just how dynamic this team is. They when you want to be great, it's got to be more than just 1 or 2 guys, because 1 or 2 guys can have off nights, poor shooting nights. They can get locked off, things like that. When you have a balanced offense like Southside has, it makes it really difficult to defend, especially come playoff time, and it looks like they drew another foul.
Caputo got a stick on it. Trickles out, and another EMO for Southside.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to be a slash, on Farmingdale. Now it gets a little trickier, John, because you can go out and pressure in a 30-second penalty. A minute gets long. It's hard to keep up that kind of pressure, and Southside's just proven that they can move the ball well enough to kind of deal with your pressure, so we'll see how they play it.
That's Matt Ippoliti, the junior. Will be off, and it's a big loss for Farmingdale. He's one of their best defenders as well.
Yeah, just committed to LIU. Great player, great young man, great family.
100%. His older brother, too, of course, playing at Syracuse. And the Orange have really been picking from Long Island over the last few years, a bunch of commits from Long Island.
No doubt. What a pass.
And it bounces in. Michael Aiello. He's got 20 goals on the season, and Southside starting to turn this into a rout.
John, I mentioned earlier the balance, right? And on the opening, I said I really love the way Aiello balances this team. You have these big righty shooters in West DiPietro. Livingston just sees it over the top to the left side. He's all by himself over there, and he knows how to finish. He is really crafty, really, really good player, Aiello.
Livingston with an assist on 2 of the 3 goals this quarter. Damo and Melkonian. And Melkonian with a conference-leading 85 ground balls heading into today. Swung down low. Here's Mills. And Southside to pull it back out. And how about Jack Lozito playing a little offense?
Yeah, he saw Basilico. He's like, I'm a running back too. I can stay out there.
Now, games like this would never happen on the football level. And of course, I think any team could beat any team on any given night. The difference between playing in A and D is the quality of opponents across A and D, but that would be a fun one. Caputo with the save on Mills. My point is, it would have been fun to see Farmingdale Southside in football this year.
No, absolutely, and that's why we love the Power Conference. By the way, that's a big save for Caputo. Good move from X. That would have been a 5-goal lead there. So nice job by Caputo. But to your point, this is a great game, right? And sometimes in football, we don't always get the best matchups, but this is a really good matchup. Exactly what we want to see in the middle of April.
And we were talking about this off air too, Tom, in that in regular years, this is a March 30th game, maybe March 20th, and you move on and you assess your team at that point and, see it as a resume builder. But at this point, it means something.
Yeah. I mean, this is, there's no real conditions here tonight. It rained a little bit, but it's not freezing like it has been at some of these games. This is kind of the team you're going to roll with moving forward. So, no excuses on either side. Obviously Farmingdale would like to have Lennon, but, this is the Power Conference. This is awesome. Two great teams going at it in a midweek, in the middle of April.
And not to write off Farmingdale, but they do need a goal to get back and rediscover their mojo, and why not give it to Sal Basilico?
Yeah, I think they need a good possession here. Maybe get back to a little two-man with O'Keefe. When you lose a guy like Lennon, and obviously we don't know exactly what's wrong, but that's a tough moving pick. They're going to need Lennon, right? They're going to need another big gun. So playing without him is certainly tough. And they're trying to do that. What I asked them to do, which is the big little. Unfortunately, you got a moving pick out of it.
Muscarella the clear, up ahead to Sean Quirk, who Steve DiPietro said couldn't say a bad thing about Quirk and what he did against New Hyde Park. That was a 19-10 victory over New Hyde Park, and he said he learned a lot from his non-starters as well. And because of that, Quirk will get some playing time earlier today. But this is a Southside team that, at the beginning of the year had a checklist, and it was listed like so. Excuse me. First check there, beating Cold Spring Harbor for the second straight year. They hadn't beaten them in about 15 years. They do it back-to-back years, and then there's the big one. That might have to be the double check there, Tom.
Yeah, it looks like it could be, two teams that are going to certainly find each other again in the playoffs. But you got to take care of the first one first, right? So they were able to get that game. And that was an emotional game. It was down here in Rockville Center. The place was packed. When you bring back all these seniors and Steve DiPietro is not shied away from saying this is our shot. This is the squad that we think can make a run at all of these, great aspirations. And but it starts with beating Garden City. They did that. Now they have to try to clinch the top seed and then go after all of these other goals that they have in front of them.
Yeah, they're looking for their first county in LIC since 2004. They've never won a state title, so that's something that they would love to go out on. And you mentioned Garden City in there. I mean, you see the loss to Wantagh, and I'm not knocking them. It just goes to show how tough it is to win on Long Island, and especially for Southside, which on a good day, Wantagh, Garden City, looking in Manhasset, Massapequa, it's not going to be an easy schedule for Southside going forward.
No, and sometimes, after a big win, you come out, you need to get humbled, right? And Wantagh did exactly that. It's a little reminder, Coach said that we need to go out and play the way we have to, to win our winning formula together, hustle plays, winning face-offs, great defense. He said it's the worst defense they've played, taking nothing away from Wantagh, but as a team in a long time.
Shot whistles wide to the left and battle for possession. Well, Wantagh is in a good matchup tonight against Massapequa. Wantaugh's 5-2, 4-game winning streak, a 17-3 win over Lynbrook. And, how about Dylan Martini, Devin Pacione leading the way for the Warriors, Will Greaves, ground ball machine. We'll see them a few times on Varsity Media, including Friday night against Cold Spring Harbor.
Yep, I'll be there. I'm looking forward to it. You have 3 Martini brothers. You have Devin Pacione and some other really good young players. Wantagh is dangerous. So is West.
Yeah, I'll say so. That's his second of the game. Owen West starting to light it up. 21 goals on the season, and Southside continues to extend their lead. They're up 5.
Yeah, Owen West is this guy right now that is just, he's he's almost just bigger and faster and stronger than most of his matchups. And earlier in his career, that would be something where he got underneath and would take a shot to the short side. But you see him with the confidence and the strength to just get all the way underneath, get to the front of the cage, and really have his choice of where he wanted to shoot the ball.
So off the face-off, Damo fighting for the ground ball. And there's Braden Gamberg still trying to get position with that long pole. Nobody wants to pick it up. Finally goes in there, and then a whistle.
It's outside out of the box early, so Farmingdale with possession. Listen, if you're Farmingdale, you know, there's no three-pointers, right? There's no two-point shots. This is one possession at a time. I know it's cliche, but that's literally how you have to start this. You know, if you can cut this lead to 7-3, 7-4, you know, by halftime, you feel a whole lot better. So it starts with a good possession, you know, right here, and then, you know, then you worry about the face-off X and getting stops.
Dean Cott, working with Mike Benfonte, took a few face-offs in the win over New Hyde Park. And now Josh Kama, a couple of points on the year, both goals, working with Lazito. Do and defers. Here's O'Keefe. They want to get him going. A laser. Number 2 for O'Keefe. And just like you mentioned, Tom, the goal that Farmingdale was looking for.
Yeah, you know, early in this game we said he's going to have to step up, you know, in order to keep Farmingdale in this game and give Farmingdale a chance to win. This is a tough matchup. Mullen is all over you with that length and size, but he does a really good job here of driving to the 5-and-5 and just question marking back to his strong hand. I mean, you can literally see the football line markers. He's 5 yards above, gets to his back to his right hand, and then great placement. Remember, Muscarella's a lefty goalie, so anything to that far right pipe is really tough for him to get to.
The Great Danes are getting a fantastic player next year, and now Southside Melconian trying to get the GB. Taking a whack at it, now a pile up. Looks more like a rugby circle than lacrosse match. And
yeah, big ground ball here.
Big hit. Ippoliti gets upended. Big hit by Griffin Mills laying the lumber. Take a timeout, but let's take another look at it again. And Tom, gotta keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah, who said lacrosse isn't a physical sport? I'll tell you, Ippoliti is the middle linebacker, or one of the linebackers at Farmingdale, so that didn't faze him too much. But that hustle, getting to that ground ball, even getting a stick on it, was able to give Farmingdale possession here. And like we just talked about, you know, they had to kind of weather the storm of the Cyclone offense. And now all of a sudden they have possession, you know, they cut a lead, they got O'Keefe the ball, and they have a chance to cut the lead more.
Well, it was a banner year for Farmingdale last year. We'll take a look in the Wayback Machine. 2023, 18-4, finally beating Port Washington, and a year of the Daler, led by Mike Hungerford and the rest of the crew for Farmingdale.
Yeah, obviously a magical run. Our buddy, Coach Hungerford, did a wonderful job and, you know, fell a little short in the New York State Championship, but certainly doesn't take any of the shine away from a wonderful year. And, you know, Coach Dunn was the defensive coordinator and a big part of that coaching staff, so that allowed this team to kind of keep that continuity, you know, into this year. And it's hard to manage expectations after a year like that. You know, everyone seems to think, you know, you can do it again, and a lot of things go right for you when you have that kind of banner year.
Well, and Tom, Eric Dunn is no stranger, obviously, in lacrosse circles, but getting to coach against him, getting to know him, what does he bring to the table as a coach, and what does Farmingdale have to look forward to with him in charge?
One, he's a brilliant lacrosse mind. He's a really tough guy, taskmaster. You know, he believes in the fundamentals, much like Coach Hungerford. Is a master at scouting other teams and trying to take away what they do best. And he's got a lot of respect from these kids. He teaches in the high school. He knows them. They know how hard he works, so they're going to play hard for him.
Basilico jump shot, and Muscarella gobbles it up.
Yeah, that was a good shot. That was a good shot by Basilico, but Muscarella is just so good in there.
Muscarella just continues to dazzle, and a quick timeout taken, but let's take another look at that shot because it might not do justice on the replay here, but that was a laser. I think the smoke is still coming off that shot.
Yeah, I agree. I was just going to say, John, that was shot really, really hard. He gets up on his toes, and Sal is a strong kid, and he really gets a lot of that, and Muscarella just gets down and gets his body on it and is able to make the save.
Yeah, we're going to have another angle here momentarily, and the better wide angle, and here we go.
Yeah, it comes off a little two-man pick. Yeah, that is. I'm not even sure Muscarella realized he made the save, but he did get his body down there. And that's the size of Muscarella. I don't know if people realize how big he looks in the cage with that lefty stick up there and just the way he positions himself. He's intimidating to shoot at.
So now the Cyclones with a 4-goal lead, 2:15 to go in the second quarter, and I'd have to say the execution, at least for Steve DiPietro and his crew, has been all aces so far.
Yeah, I think they played really well. I love timeouts like this when, you know, you're a team that has aspirations, because what you do is you get a chance to see what works coming out of a timeout. Who do you want to pick up the ball? What kind of set do you want to run? You know, and you're teaching your kids sort of some time management and things like that. And it looks like they may take their time.
Owen West, a couple of goals today. Second goal made it 7-2. Farmingdale with the response, and now Southside with a chance to get it back. DiPietro has also entered the scorebook today. Gets pushed back. Good check. That was Mike Galgano. Fight for the loose ball. He'll stay with the Cyclones.
Yeah, good defense by Farmingdale. Just couldn't come up with the ground ball, and now you give Southside another shot with, just over 1:30 in the half.
Mike Aiello and Galgano to Petro. West. Liam Livingston, been the unsung hero today, a couple of helpers.
Yeah, he does a nice job down there. Good vision. He's throwing some really accurate passes.
A transfer from Chaminade, a good resume at that, as that skips off the stick. And Farmingdale gets the turnover, a chance to make this a 7-4 game. And, you know, for the Dalers, if they're down only 3 or 2 going into the half, it's a win.
Oh, 100%. You know, when Southside went on that run, you almost felt like this game was going to get away from them. So if they can get a goal here, this would be huge.
Nice running catch, Basilico, and here comes Basilico. DiPietro with the assignment, as Basilico curls it back out. Now it's Dean Cott, the junior. In stride, Josh Kama. Kama riding, and he beats Muscarella for the goal. Right off the bench, Kama scores his 3rd goal of the year, and that makes it 7-4.
Yeah, Josh Kama, by the way, another linebacker on the football field, is really powerfully built, fast kid. This is right up his alley, no pun intended, because he comes right down the alley and just powers his way through the goal, runs right through the stick there, and that's a great job. And if you're Farmingdale, what a great job. You get a stop on defense, you get a beautiful clear, and then you get Kama coming out of the box and getting you a goal to cut this to 3. Now you got to be careful of Melkonian.
Damo's up for the task as it's squirted up ahead. Jack Lozito fighting for the ground ball, but Farmingdale ultimately comes up with it, and it pops out. 30 seconds to go, and that was Ippoliti trying to weave in and out with Melkonian. Southside possession.
Yeah, not a lot of time here, but a little bit more than they probably realize. Get your subs on. Oh, good shot.
West, good swim moves. Skirted aside, Caputo. 12 seconds to go in the first half. Aiello. Biggest possession for both sides.
Under. Oh, he got under. What a shot.
And that's Cullen Lynch. Cullen Lynch once again beating the Daler keeper. And a big goal for Southside going into the half.
You know, with that much time, the one thing you couldn't happen is to let him get underneath you. And Cullen Lynch is, listen, he's really good. He's the other guy, but he's on a lot of teams, he would be the guy. That's a really tough shot right off hip for a Caputo. Tremendous shot by Cullen Lynch.
3.5 seconds to play. Dommel and Melkonian. And a clean sweep for Melkonian. Rifles it towards Caputo as time expires, and that does it. But Southside weathering the storm. They take an 8-4 lead going into the half. It's been a fun one from Rockville Center. When we come back, we'll recap the first half, get you ready for the second half. You're watching Nassau County Boys Lacrosse on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Dante does it again! Defensive play. Dante Madaro. Illico ties it up.
Move by Yeso steps up and score.
A jump shot for Nell.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media Pass is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Playoffs. For semifinal and championship coverage of boys and girls lacrosse, flag football, and baseball, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Varsity Media is the home for New York high school sports.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck. Hey parents, how about a bobblehead for your athlete? Bobbleheads are one of the most preferred personalized gift items today, and it's so easy to order. All you need is a photo of your athlete, a model number from our extensive collection of bobbleheads, and the sculpting process begins. 2 proofs are sent for your approval, and once it's approved, in a few weeks, your bobblehead is on the way. It's that simple. Order your bobblehead today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click catalogs, or call 516-403-2050.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
When it comes to advertising, are you hitting the right audience? Why waste your time with television or a free print publication that's given out at a local deli? Varsity Media has your back. With a following of over 50,000 and a local demographic ranging between the ages of 18 and 54 years old, it's time to get that return on investment. Plus, here's the best part. Your ad lives forever on our YouTube page. And with a large on-demand audience, it's a grand slam to advertise with Varsity Media.
Did you know Varsity Media now offers action photography for all sporting events? Available for individuals or teams, we'll send dedicated photographers down to field level to capture your best moments. Our rates are affordable, and our photos will leave you with lasting memories for a lifetime. Contact us today, mention this ad, and get $25 off your first order. Email ben@varsitymedia.net or call 516-403-2050. Varsity Media offers live streaming services for any sport. With human beings behind the camera, you can expect the proper coverage angles during each game. We offer customizable options such as live scoreboard, multiple cameras, instant replay, graphics, and even announcers. Find out how you can save $100 off a live stream package with Varsity Media by calling 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Feel like your game film is too stagnant and not providing you with the insight that your coaches had hoped for? Varsity Media offers game film to help your coaches develop a game plan to execute on game day. Our current clients love the Varsity Media difference, which includes more insightful camera angles and a speedy upload process. Start building your championship team today with award-winning individuals at Varsity Media. Did you just have the best athletic year of your life, and now you want to show it off to college coaches? Well, let Varsity Media help you. Varsity Media's college recruiting videos show off your unique skills to help you land a spot on the team of your dream school. We'll provide music, spot shadow effects, and a link to send to your next coach. Contact us today for more information. Don't rely on word of mouth or cold emails. Let Varsity Media help you take your game to the next level. Looking to grow your business on social media? Let Varsity Media help you. With over 50,000 followers across our platform, sponsor a segment during the broadcast and share it on social media the next day. It's the best of both worlds, as you'll get thousands of plays and your ad will live on the broadcast forever. Contact us today for sponsorship packages by calling 917-470-0864 or emailing varsitymediasponsors@gmail.com. Varsity Media is offering a video folder that you can customize to meet your needs. A photo of your athlete can be elegantly placed in the front panel. Essential statistics with a biography can be printed on the inside panel, and videos can be downloaded and viewed on an LCD screen for as long as 2 hours. The attractive video folder can be placed on a coffee table and instantly becomes a conversation starter. Order your video folder today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click Catalogs, or give us a call at 516-403-2050.
High school sports fans, are you following Varsity Media on our YouTube channel? For the best coverage of New York high school sports, make sure you head to youtube.com/varsitymedia. 3 easy steps. First, hit that like button, and then be sure to subscribe. And finally, tap that yellow bell to be notified of all of our upcoming sportscasts. Thank you for following Varsity Media on YouTube.
We welcome you back to Rockville Center, and there's some rock climbing on a wall over there, and well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore. But it's been a fun one so far. Southside with an 8-4 lead over Farmingdale. And today's game, once again, is brought to you by Diamond Lacrosse, a performance training company for boys and girls, focusing primarily on developing Dodgers. With proven programs to develop better distributors and scorers, the program is run by Ryan Walsh, a 6-year pro for the New York Lizards, and Courtney Fortunato, who was a 4-time All-American at Notre Dame and current Athletes Unlimited Pro. A year-round training service based out of Sportset in Rockville Center and All Sports Melville. For more information, to book a session, give them a follow on Instagram and look into what it's like to train with Diamond Lacrosse. It's been a fun Wednesday night matchup. The Cyclones and Farmingdale when we come back on the Varsity Media Sports Network. You're watching Varsity Media, New York's premier high school sports network. Did you just have the best athletic year of your life, and now you want to show it off to college coaches? Well, let Varsity Media help you. Varsity Media's college recruiting videos show off your unique skills to help you land a spot on the team of your dream school. We'll provide music, spot shadow effects, and a link to send to your next coach. Contact us today for more information. Don't rely on word of mouth or cold emails. Let Varsity Media help you take your game to the next level. Looking to grow your business on social media? Let Varsity Media help you. With over 50,000 followers across our platform, sponsor a segment during the broadcast and share it on social media the next day. It's the best of both worlds, as you'll get thousands of plays, and your ad will live on the broadcast forever. Contact us today for sponsorship packages by calling 917-470-0864 or emailing varsitymediasponsors@gmail.com. Welcome back to Southside High School. It is the Cyclones leading the Dalers 8-4. He's Tom Rooney. I'm John Perez as we get ready for the start of the second half. And there's Eric Dunn in his first season. Of course, a Wantagh class of 2002. And Eric Dunn has been the mastermind behind Farmingdale's recent success against Southside over the last few years. In fact, Farmingdale's won the last 3. And as we take a look at the final scores here, Tom Rooney, it was really a defensive clinic by the Dalers.
Yeah, you could see, obviously not a big disparity between the two teams, but really low scoring. So we obviously have two very, good defenses, and the Farmingdale defenses over the last couple of years have been fantastic. But what we're seeing here tonight is the evolution of these Southside offensive players, and they are, different than the group of sophomores they were in 21. We're freshmen in 21, sophomores in 22. Now they are seniors, almost that entire group back there, and they're showing it.
I'll have you put your coaching hat on. If you were Eric Dunn, what are you telling your team at half?
First thing I'm saying is we got to pick up the ball on our own end. We got to have better sticks. We need to pick the ball off the ground. We cannot give them second chance opportunities. And then on the offensive end, guys, Muscarella's really good, but we got to keep shooting. Just keep firing away. I might even point to Sal and tell him, hey, that's a great shot. It didn't go, but I want to see more of it.
And Sal, you're referring to Sal Basilico, who fired a laser his last time there. And Basilico held off the board, but O'Keefe with a couple of goals. And here's Mike Melconian driving inside, and Caputo with the save in the 5-hole. Here is Basilico, the aforementioned future running back for Springfield College, as he gallops up the field. Matching with West, that's a fun one. Throws it in and scores. I think he was listening to you, Tom.
Why not? He's such a good athlete. This starts with Caputo making a big save. Every time you play Southside, you worry about Melconian getting hot and getting goals off the face-off, because it just kind of spurs them on and they go on runs. So he wins the face-off clean. He comes down. Caputo makes a big save. And Basilico is able to just come down. And, he keeps it simple. He probably doesn't have the best lefty shot, so why not keep it in your right hand, attacks a matchup in an unsettled situation, and fires it home.
10th goal of the year for Basilico. He's got 16 points on the season, and now Melconian will start it off to Jack Lazito. A little bit more offense we've been seeing out of Lazito, especially in this one, but he'll curl it back and get back to the other side of the field and give it to West.
Yeah, Southside at times will play fast off of a face-off win, and I actually think it's smart from time to time just to kind of slow it down so you can use that as an element of surprise.
Owen West leading the way for Southside with a couple of goals early on. And, in that 5-0 run, it was 5 different goal scorers for Southside. Weaving in and out is DiPietro, cross-field pass. West over Ippolini, and it gets saved by Caputo, and he's had a little difficulty locating it, but finally comes up with it and clears.
Yeah, great job by Caputo on 2 straight shots there, and Farmingdale again with the clear. What a really good start for Farmingdale here.
And Thomas Goodrich skips back over to midfield, but a good job on the clear and giving his team possession. Here's Basilico as he gets shaded by Nick Papadopoulos.
Yeah, Farmingdale's going to sub Kama back in. He had a late goal in that second quarter to cut the lead to 3 at the time. But this has basically been their first, middies, Cott, Basilico, and Kama. And they went to the pick game behind for O'Keefe, and I think you'll see more of that in the second half.
O'Keefe gets a long pole, and Mullen, quick hitter save, Muscarella on the scintillating shot by Sunday, looking for his second goal of the game. Fight for possession. Farmingdale tries to clamp it down, and it stays with the Dalers. Last touch by Southside.
Yeah, great feed by O'Keefe. Sunday, Gets that shot off. Muscarella up to the task. But good offensive action, good movement, great cut. Good things seem to happen when O'Keefe has the ball. I would keep feeding him. You know, Mullen's a tough defender, but I would just go to the matchup.
Good things happen when this guy has the ball, too. Josh Kame. He's only a sophomore. 3 goals on the season, but a ton of upside. Slings it. And Muscarella on the short hop gobbles it up.
Yeah, good save by Muscarella. Maybe a hair out of Kama's, range right there. But, when you're facing a good goalie, you got to get shots. You got to keep firing away, and a little bit of a slick surface, why not? Throw it on the ground, see what happens.
Weston Cott on the near side. And now DePietro drawing Kama. DePietro, left-handed shot. Caputo makes the save. Long ricochet, out of play, stays with the Cyclones.
Yeah, 3 shots, 3 saves for Caputo to start this third quarter.
Wind and fire, make it 4. Ranging to his right again to stop West.
Yeah, that's a really nice job coming out of the half. Southside's going to get shots. You know how good they are. You have numbers here.
Farmingdale comes downhill. Winding shot, score. Jake Mangio. Goal number 4, and here come the Dalers.
Well, you asked me about Coach Dunn before. I probably should have put it in there. He's fiery and he's competitive. There's no way he went into halftime and said, guys, they're better than us. He went in and said, listen, we can play, right? We got to execute. A few saves, a few ground balls, a few clears. And Mangio is a guy we highlighted in the beginning with his ability to run. He's an excellent athlete. If you know high school basketball, he's an excellent high school basketball player. And that's where he's dangerous, out in the open field like that. Great overhand bouncer to Muscarella's weak side, and we got a game.
I would like it noted that everyone that we featured in the Open is now scored, and it wasn't 2 attackmen on each side. So if you're looking for any lottery picks or anything, be sure to contact us at Varsity Media. That's Jeff at varsitymedia.net. Well, it's a 2-goal game now, Tom Rooney.
Yeah, it sure is, and you could feel it, here in the stadium. You have just a little bit more juice. The crowd's more into it. Obviously the Southside guys are a little frustrated, and the Farmingdale crowd is into it. And this is 2 really good teams here going at it. We talked about the matchup, the Power Conference matchup. Basilico with a step
over Lazito and fires it over the crossbar wide.
Yeah, out of bounds off the end line here. O'Keefe is sort of the primary guy that's always going to pick it up. And the decision is, do you let him go one-on-one or do you give him a pick? And he can really do either one.
O'Keefe, already a couple of goals today, going up against Mullen. Ball comes ajar, and a good job by Mullen to get the takeaway.
Yeah, excellent job by Mullen. Really, really long.
Should mention again, a late scratch to this one was Caden Lennon, a Bryant commit for Farmingdale. That would have been a fun one to see him and Owen West, too. Bryant guy shot goal on the response. Southside gets the goal, Mike Aiello.
Yeah, I've said a few times, I love this kid's game. They're having trouble clearing the ball. He comes up and gets it. They're trying to double the ball. He runs through it. Then he senses he has a chance to run down the left alley with his left hand, and he does it and just sticks one in the corner. Such a smart player.
Second goal of the game for Aiello, and let's take another look.
Yeah,
so good.
I don't think his teammates would say he's a burner, but he just knows how to score. He knows how to get into space. And, you could see his teammates getting all fired up. Big face-off here for Damo.
Yeah, as Farmingdale looks for the response. In fact, the Dalers have outscored Southside 2-1, and now back to a 3-goal lead for Southside.
Whenever you play Southside and you get a goal, by, Aiello or West or DiPietro or one of these, Lynch tonight has been a few. You always worry about the ensuing faceoff because one could turn into 2 and 3 really quick. So that's a huge faceoff win by Damo. It allows Farmingdale just to keep this game exactly at the pace that they want it. They can bring their guys on, settle the ball, and run their offense.
Midway through the third, as Farmingdale is starting to get into the meat of their schedule after today against Syosset and then at Wantagh and then the big one next week, the rivalry against Massapequa at 5 p.m. That'll be on Varsity Media. Coming near side, O'Keefe. Sal Basilico. The jump shot, and Basilico right into the webbing of Muscarella's stick.
Yeah, Muscarella tough to beat up top on the stick side. I like the offense. They gave you a little bit of a different look. They brought O'Keefe above the cage and kind of popped him. And Basilico did a good job getting to the middle. Mullen thinks he's an offensive guy tonight. Huh?
Yeah, a couple of nifty moves. Well, he's got the pole goal, and, hey, you know it as a former player. When you're feeling it, you're feeling it.
Oh, yeah. This is a tough spot.
DiPietro in front. Oh, what a save. Wow. Caputo robbed him blind. Aiello looking for his third goal of the game, and Caputo says, get that out of here.
Great save. Big, big save. And then a tough turnover. That would have been great to turn around and send the other way. But a nice job by Caputo. He's really played well here in the second half.
DiPietro, the save. Well, we have a look at that last save, and we'll take it quickly here, Tom, and what a denial by Caputo in front.
Yeah, I mean, Aiello's by himself. He just tries to kind of quick stick it, and Caputo right there.
Perhaps this provides the spark for Farmingdale. Jack Watrous playing for the injured Lennon.
Yeah, Watrous, young kid, getting thrown in here tonight. Played a little attack, it looked like early. Now he's at the midfield. They love his game. Really, really good athlete, left-handed player, and it looks like they're going to do a little two-man with O'Keefe.
Yeah, like we mentioned, Watrous started the year on JV in the scout team, earned his way onto the varsity squad as an 8th grader. Now swimming inside, Muscarella bats it away. Point-blank save on the 8th grader Watrous.
That is awesome. That is a great move by an 8th grader. Tremendous. And then Muscarella with a chicken wing save with his elbow. Really good stuff.
Sean Quirk coming off the hat trick, and he scores his first. Nifty move by Quirk as he beats Caputo. 10-6 Southside.
Southside can come at you with so many guys. We talked about them being really balanced on offense early with all the different goal scorers. If you're Farmingdale, you stop Aiello on a save, you stop DiPietro, and then you have Quirk with just fresh legs running down the alley there with the clear and does a good job of beating Caputo low.
Didn't have the easiest defender on him either with Ippoliti all over him.
Yeah, right on his back. Just good shot. Good athlete right there.
It's got to be the worst thing as a defender when you have to tip your cap, but it was the case right there.
Yeah, sometimes it's good D, better shot.
Lozito swings it far side. And DiPietro up top to Cullen Lynch.
I think this is a big spot right now for Farmingdale's defense. You've been down 4 before. You were able to battle back. You don't want to get down 5, right? You don't want to give these guys a chance to really get going.
Russell DeFrancisca comes out of the midfield, and now he's up top, number 25 in white, as this is Cullen Lynch. Working on Parisi as it swung around to X and West. Matched up with Ippoliti. West for the hat trick, wide.
Yeah, West coming off the pick there. Looked like Goodrich was trying to lock off Griffin Mills. And the going back to that double pole in the midfield. That's going to be a flag, I think.
Flag finally comes out. It'll be the second time that Ippoliti is going to be tagged for one. Here's Cullen Lynch. Up top to DePietro. You don't want double jeopardy here for Ippoliti. Swung in front and a shove afterwards, and we'll see if that draws a flag as well. As Griffin Mills with the shove.
Yeah, I don't think the crowd loves it, but I think that was part of the play. We're going to have a man up here for Southside.
Yeah, the Cyclones 1 for 2 on the day on the man up.
This is the same set that came out before. You have Aiello as a shooter on one wing, West as on the other, and they both scored in this set. And it's been Liam Livingston, right, who has been the facilitator. He starts on the crease and he kind of rolls back to X, and he's been the guy who's been able to find these guys open.
In front, bang! Michael Aiello. Why not? It's his day. Aiello with the hat trick.
Well, I want to thank Liam Livingston for making me sound, like I know what I'm talking about, because that's exactly what he did. He just rolls off the crease, and kid's got great vision, throws a really accurate pass, which is not easy to do across the crease like that, but Aiello is right there, and he's not going to miss from there.
I don't know where you went at halftime, but when you've come back on the air, it's worked to a T. You got on Farmingdale and said, hey, maybe you tell Basilico to take a couple of shots. Well, right off the jump, he scores. And now Livingston, I think you need to play the lotto tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not done yet, John.
All right.
I'm just getting warmed up here.
I just want the 10%. That's all. Your silence is deafening. So is Owen West, who has been exceptional for Southside this year. Came in the leading goal scorer for the Cyclones, and, of course, taking his talents to Bryant as well. Thought that we would see him against Caden Lennon, of course. Bryant with a couple of Long Island guys, Max D'Antona, Dawson Riley from Manhasset. Maybe we'll see them again down the road, but, of course, their future over to Bryant.
Yeah, they're getting two really good players, two big, strong kids, one righty, one lefty. They'll make excellent college players. And Southside right now, you got a 5-goal lead. You're under a minute. I think you'll see them take their time. These are the spots in a game where you like to sort of practice. Like let's practice for a playoff situation where we want to get the last shot.
.25 seconds to play third quarter. Here's West. Off the cut, and wide right. It was Cullen Lynch trying to go top right corner on his opposite number.
Yeah, Farmingdale jumped into a little bit of a zone here just to try to slow this possession down. They're gonna go out and pressure a little bit, but let's see if Southside can penetrate the zone. This is the right guy to do it.
DePietro over the bar. Clock stops. 3.6 seconds to play in the third.
Farmingdale ball here.
Parisi the heave. All the way down the opposite end. And that does it. 3 quarters in the books. Southside dominating. They've got a 5-goal lead going into the fourth on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media offers live streaming services for any sport. With human beings behind the camera, you can expect the proper coverage angles during each game. We offer customizable options such as live scoreboard, multiple cameras, instant replay, graphics, and even announcers. Find out how you can save $100 off a live stream package with Varsity Media by calling 516-403-2050 or email Ben@varsitymedia.net. Did you know Varsity Media now offers action photography for all sporting events? Available for individuals or teams, we'll send dedicated photographers down to field level to capture your best moments. Our rates are affordable and our photos will leave you with lasting memories for a lifetime. Contact us today, mention this ad, and get $25 off your first order. Email ben@varsitymedia.net or call 516-403-2050.
11-6 the lead for Southside as we begin the fourth quarter. It's time for our breakout goaltending save of the game, and Mike Muscarella has been fantastic so far in net for Southside today. He's already got 5 saves, including this beauty here, Tom Rooney.
Yeah, you see an inside roll. You're going to see an inside roll here by Watros. Just a great job, gets the shot off, and Muscarella with a tremendous save. Great hands following the ball.
Long Island's longest-running goalie exclusive training program, serving boys and girls elementary through college age. Year-round since 2004. Call Tim O'Meara today at 877-GOAL-121 or visit breakoutgoaltending.com.
And to be fair, John, Caputo was excellent in that third quarter, too. I mean, he had a tremendous amount of saves. Southside just gets a lot of shots. They are humming right now.
Oh, and that was a point that I wanted to bring up to you as well, and not a knock on Caputo. Sometimes goalies, you'll see an 11-goal mark, and you'll say, oh, that goalie must not have had a good day. That's not true at all. Caputo's been nails in between the pipes as well. It's just not there as that goes off to the side. Michael Aiello.
Yeah, Caputo's been great. I think the Southside offense we're looking at a really, really good high school offense here. Even that play by Aiello, that was a 30-yard pass off a quick restart where he was able to go backdoor. You know, they're excellent.
You're looking at a Southside team that still with a quarter to play, the fourth quarter to play here, has had 45 goals over their last 3 games. Flag at the midfield.
Yeah, a little frustration, I think, by Basilico. They had a chance at a ground ball and a turnover. They don't get it. Cullen Lynch comes up with it, and it looks like Basilico just runs them over from behind. I'm not sure how long, maybe a loose ball push. So, yeah, they put 30 seconds up on the board. Last time they went 30 seconds, Farmingdale came out and pressured. Let's see what they do, and it looks like they are.
So up top, it's Liam Livingston. DePietro. Livingston, good pass. West, high and off to the right.
I'll tell you, West can really shoot it, right? I mean, that you can just see how fast he gets that shot off and how much velocity he gets on it.
West with 21 goals on the season, 2 today. Swung underneath. And a denial. Lynch gets stopped by Caputo.
Another good save by Caputo, and Farmingdale able to fight off that penalty.
Lynch pulling it back out in Southside. We mentioned the quality of opponents that they've played thus far, and it doesn't get much easier coming up for them either. Friday night, they'll play Somers out of Westchester, which should be a fun one. In front, behind the back! Cullen Lynch! You've got to be kidding me! As Lynch with a beauty for the hat trick.
Why not? He had one righty in the first quarter. He had a lefty in the second quarter to end the scoring before the half. And now behind the back. A little bit of everything. We talk so much about some of the other guys on Southside, and Lynch is obviously an excellent player. Great feed, great finish.
They're having themselves some fun out there, Southside. And, Tom, that could just spark a team confidence-wise, not just for the rest of the game, but you could just see how they're gelling as a team this year.
Yeah, Southside knows how good Farmingdale is on defense. They know how good their goalie is and, the type of program they are. So when you're able to go on a run like this against a team like this is good stuff. This is tough right now, Melconian with a running start.
Well, one of the points of emphasis for Eric Dunn was to not allow Melkonian to have that running start. And for the most part, he hasn't. But this is just a very loaded Southside team as West fires it off to the right.
Yeah, Melkonian gives you that option, right? He can carry the ball. He can play offense. He can trap other face-off guys on, like you saw right there. Actually goes behind like an attackman, throws a nice feed.
Bouncing shot and a save, Caputo. That was Patrick Costello, the senior. Looking to find the back of the net. Off the rebound, Caputo. Back-to-back denials.
Great job by Caputo. Could have numbers here for Farmingdale.
The C opens for Basilico, drops it off. And then it skips through the stick of Maloney. Maloney, long fight, a whack at it. And Southside possession. All right, check that, a timeout taken by Farmingdale. Well, while we have a break in the action, let Varsity Media broadcast your lacrosse games this spring, which is great for rivalry games, homecoming, senior day, and hey, we'll do some playoffs as well. Just email varsitymedia_sponsors@gmail.com. Give us a call today, 917-470-0864. Mention this ad and get 25% off of your SPORTSCAST. Well, that is to book a SPORTSCAST. We've got a ton of SPORTSCAST coming up as well on the Varsity Media Sports Network, including this Friday lacrosse-wise. We've got a good baseball game tomorrow as well, the defending New York City champions, St. Francis Prep Terriers taking on St. John the Baptist. And then what sticks out to you here? Obviously, you've got Woodstick, but some really good matchups, Tom Rooney.
Yeah, you got Cold Spring Harbor, Wantaw on Friday, a game that we're going to do. And two really good teams playing really well. Cold Spring Harbor with a last-second win last night against Syosset. Like to see Somers versus Southside. Somers, an excellent program out of Westchester. Of course, the Woodstick goes without saying. That's always a tremendous game. And then you have these sort of Class A powers going at each other within the power conference, but we get to see who might emerge from the Class A grouping there.
We got Port Washington and Manhasset facing off against each other tonight. The game started at 5. I don't have the score right now, but maybe an upset special for Port Washington. They might be thinking ahead to Garden City. I know Keith Cromwell and his team riding high after that victory at LIU over Shoreham-Wading River. Could be something there. Who knows? But either way, Manhasset, one of the top teams in not just Long Island, but the nation.
Yeah, you and I had Port Washington earlier. There are obviously some really good pieces there. They're trying to figure it out. The Manhasset group is interesting because they graduated so many guys, so many heralded guys, that have gone on, and a lot of them playing right away in college. But Manhasset's figured it out. Cromwell and Coach Cromwell there has done a really nice job, and that group of seniors led by Patrick Arnold has been really good for Manhasset.
I remember when Keith Cromwell was the head coach over at Locust Valley, and he had the big upset against Cold Spring Harbor in 2016, and that was obviously a huge victory for him and his program, and then he's just taken Manhasset. Continued the tradition, has done a great job over there as well.
Yep, excellent coach. Obviously, that's an excellent program, and, that game is going to be fun to watch. Garden City's another team that graduated a lot of seniors. I think people were a little surprised to see them come out of the gate and play so well. We weren't surprised, but they're obviously excellent again.
O'Keefe with the jump shot goes wide, and Farmingdale knows how good Manhasset was, losing 10-7 to them on March 27th. I think Southside might join select company. They have a chance to knock off both Garden City and Manhasset in the same year, and I know the Power Conference helps there, but not many teams can say that they've done so.
No, I would be interested to see somebody look that up. It can't be very many.
You know what's going to happen? Somebody's going to tweet at us and say, "It happened last year, you dummy." And then that's where I'm going. I'm the dummy in this situation because nobody's nice to me on social media. I read the comments, but.
Bring it. So Farmingdale, when you're Farmingdale right now, the scoreboard isn't as important as just how you play out these last 7.5 minutes. Play clean, play well. Try not to do that, right? Try not to throw the ball away. Whatever the end score is, at least go into your next game with some momentum, right? And it looks like right now they're going to 10-man ride, which I like. Try to force Southside into figuring that out. Not always easy to do in the middle of a game.
Colin Diaz overshoots his target in Mullen, and the ride working.
And that's kind of what I'm talking about. Why not practice these situations? You know, Farmingdale is going to be in the playoffs. They're going to be, you know, fighting at Hofstra in a Final Four type of situation. They're going to have to break out a 10-man ride, so why not do it here and give your guys a chance to not only practice it but understand it can be successful. You know, you can do it against the Southside guys. There's a good chance it will be successful against other guys as well.
Here's Brendan O'Keefe. We really didn't say his name a lot this year, and it's just that Farmingdale hasn't had possession. And he stinging shot brushed aside by Muscarella and then bangs off the school on the right of the track.
Yeah, that's a great shot by O'Keefe. And you're right. You know, first half he had 2 goals and an assist and you know, kind of had the ball in his stick a lot. This half it's been sort of dominated by Southside, which, you know, it's got to be tough for a kid like O'Keefe. But I like that take. Why not? You know, go after it. Nice by Kama right there.
Muscarella, again, a brick wall.
You really have to put it in a spot to beat Muscarella.
There's no reason to believe that he's not the best keeper on Long Island with the way that he's been playing this season. And he's just been fantastic in net for Southside this year.
Yeah, I take nothing away from any other goalkeepers. I saw Drew Walendowski from East Islip, who I think is excellent. He had one of the saves of maybe of the year already with his one-handed throwing the stick save. But and there's others that I'm not mentioning, but Muscarella is fantastic. I mean, he really is. He has such great positioning, such good hands. I love the way he just kind of handles his work.
Oh, and then right on cue, Farmingdale able to find a leak, and it's Brendan O'Keefe as he's able to beat Muscarella, who knew it, and Farmingdale scores their 7th goal of the game. That makes it 12-7.
Yeah, listen, every goalie's going to get scored on. That's a great shot by O'Keefe. Going to his left hand. He's been driving hard on Mullen, and he spins back to his left. And look at the placement on this shot. It goes right, back to his left, right into the bottom corner. No one's saving that. That's a great job. O'Keefe's a really, really talented kid.
So talented, he's got another hat trick. And now with 19 goals on the season, Melconian scoops. But it goes to Farmingdale.
Again, Farmingdale should be excited with J.J. Damo and what he's able to do. Melconian is headed to Cornell. We all know how good he is. We've seen him take over games. And, you know, at times he's gone on runs, but Damo has really done a good job of fighting him. And, you know, that's something you carry out of this game if you're Farmingdale, right? We have a guy. When we get to Hofstra and we get to the playoffs and we need the ball, we have a guy who can get us the ball.
Well, and Tom, I know that you coach many different age levels too. You have to remember Damo's only a sophomore, and at least from the naked eye and some observers, he might be ahead of schedule with what he brings to the table in the face-off.
Yeah, the size and the hands that Melconian has are elite, right? And they're sort of college ready. You know, Damo's not there yet. He's obviously a couple years younger, but he's trending in the right direction, right? And that strength will come, and you know, he certainly works hard. He's a great kid. I coached him last summer at a national event. He's a great kid to coach, and one thing he will do is he will work on his game.
He's one of our favorite Damos, of course, at Varsity Media, off the sling. Basilico in front. And I don't think that shot got off cleanly as the sweeping shot came from Sunday. Stays with Farmingdale over the stick. Out of play. Southside takes over with 4:17 to play in regulation.
Actually, a great look by O'Keefe. Just a little high, but that back pipe feed, it's good IQ right there. This young man, this is Quirk. He's impressed me today. Not a guy that they roll out a ton because Lazito's so good, but he's done a nice job.
Yeah, had the hat trick against New Hyde Park. He's been playing better in practice and been given a little bit more rope by Steve DiPietro as well. And let's take a look at the upcoming schedules while we have a break in the action. And we'll start with Southside, and we'll see them Friday night taking on Somers, of course, from Westchester, and a big one against Manhasset, and then Massapequa on May 3rd. That should be a fun one, and Massapequa seems to have figured it out. They started the year 1-2, now on a 2-game winning streak. Obviously, we mentioned they're facing Wantagh, so a good, talented team by Mike Draper's crew battling right here in Rockville Center.
Yeah, Massapequa's young. You know, they're starting, I think, 2 freshmen now on attack, or at least playing them a lot, and they have figured it out. They're a dangerous team. They have a good group of athletes over there. They'll certainly be tested when they see this Southside team.
Meanwhile, Farmingdale will take a look at their upcoming schedule as well, and a couple of big ones in there as well. I mentioned Syosset, and then Wantagh, Massapequa should be a fun one, and then Port Washington and Cold Spring Harbor to round out the Power Conference schedule.
Yeah, this is a really good schedule that they gotta get things figured out and hopefully get Lennon back and healthy. Syosset, Wantagh, Massapequa are 2 excellent teams right there in a row. Haldane out of Westchester, and then you come back to a Class A team at Port Washington, and the Filacamo brothers and Island Trees are always tough, and then, of course, Cold Spring Harbor, who just seems to find a way to win.
So play resumes. And, for Farmingdale, they've already had some tough opponents. Obviously, the 12-2 loss to Garden City at the beginning of the year. They faced Manhasset, West Islip, Christian Brothers Academy. No reason to believe with that strengthening of schedule that they can't bolster themselves for another title run. As here comes Colin Lynch with 3:45 to play in regulation.
Yeah, you mentioned all those teams. They also had Fairfield Prep, another top 25 team in the country that I watched that film. That was 7-5 at one point. Farmingdale really battled and showed me a lot in that game. This Farmingdale team is going to be okay. You got to get Lennon back and healthy. Got to figure out a few things defensively as far as picking up the ball off the ground and being a little bit cleaner in that area. But they have a lot of really good pieces. If I'm Eric Dunn, this is understand who you're playing tonight, guys. Southside is very good, but you guys are very good. You're going to be fine. We know how good this Southside team is. We can see it with our own eyes. This is an excellent, balanced team. You look out there right now, you're looking at Division I players in West and DiPietro, and Muscarella's going to Middlebury, but let's be honest, I feel like he could go anywhere. You got Pat Mullen, a 6'5" pole, going to Providence. They got a lot of weapons.
And Providence team, a ton of Long Island alums too. How about Ryan Bell, just one Big East Offensive Player of the Week? He's from Smithtown West, of course. Good connection there as well. All at Ward Melville, Tyler Flynn, Chris Simonton, Frankie Carroll.
Yeah, Coach Benson's done a great job there. My son plays at Merrimack. We played Providence earlier this year. It was a very good game, and quite frankly, Ryan Bell took it over late in that game. Such a dynamic player. And Coach Benson and that Providence team now is right in the mix in the Big East, which is exciting.
Currently in 3rd place in the Big East, and it doesn't get much easier for the Friars as they end their regular season campaign. They play Denver, a top 10 team in the nation.
Yeah, Denver is tough. Denver is tough, but Providence played Georgetown tough. They're playing everybody tough. They play a style of offense which is actually super fun to watch. A lot of movement, a lot of cutting, and they'll be in there with everybody.
Well, here's Colin Lynch riding with Matt Ippoliti, and just a formality at this point with 90 seconds to go in regulation.
Yeah, this is cool for me. These guys are teammates. They played for me in the summer. Colin Lynch and Ippoliti, 2 really good players. They both played well here tonight. Lynch obviously has the hat trick. Ippoliti, such a competitor. Maybe jump on his back. He'll do anything to try to get the ball back. But these are 2 programs with a lot of respect for each other. When we spoke to the coaches, John, they both had, so much admiration for each other's coaching staffs and their players, and they knew it would be a tough game. It's sort of always a tough game.
Ippoliti not giving up. Still a couple of jabs. As Lynch, one more.
Yeah, now they're talking it out a little bit. Lynch is like, come on, Ips, give me a break here.
Well, Farmingdale started off with a 2-0 lead, and then Southside turned it on with 3 unanswered goals to end the first quarter, and then Owen West took over to start the second quarter. And Southside started on a 4-0 run. That's 7 unanswered goals for Southside. And Michael Aiello with the hat trick, Cullen Lynch as well with 3 goals. Southside's going to pick up their 8th win of the year and finally knock off Farmingdale after losing 3 straight to the Dalers. Brendan O'Keefe with 3 goals himself, no Caden Lennon. Southside completes the victory, and they win it 12-7 at home.
Good game, John. 2 good teams. This Southside team is very balanced. They do a nice job, and Muscarella is obviously really tough in the net. And, when you're built up the middle like that with Malconi and FDX, Muscarella, and then you have a shutdown defender in Mullen, and then you have all those offensive weapons, this team is going to be a tough out.
Southside now 8-1 overall. Farmingdale falls to 5-4. We'll step aside when we come back. We'll wrap it up here with our hungry man of the game, and that should be a fun one. Southside knocks off Farmingdale 12-7 on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media offers live streaming services for any sport. With human beings behind the camera, you can expect the proper coverage angles during each game. We offer customizable options such as live scoreboard, multiple cameras, instant replay, graphics, and even announcers. Find out how you can save $100 off a live stream package with Varsity Media by calling 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Did you know Varsity Media now offers action photography for all sporting events? Available for individuals or teams, we'll send dedicated photographers down to field level to capture your best moments. Our rates are affordable and our photos will leave you with lasting memories for a lifetime. Contact us today, mention this ad, and get $25 off your first order. Email ben@varsitymedia.net or call 516-403-2050.
Southside with the 12-7 victory over Farmingdale at home. And thanks in part to Cullen Lynch, who is today's hungry man of the game. Brought to you by George Martin, the Original. George Martin, the Original, serving lunch Tuesday through Friday. Open 7 nights a week. Private party rooms available. And the George, the newest member of the George Martin Group family. The George is an American tavern serving dinner 7 nights a week. Inquire about a private party. Well, I'll tell you what, Tom Rooney, I love my burgers with a little BLT. Cullen Lynch likes his goals with a BTB.
Oh, there you go. I love it. Yeah, right here. Does a really nice job of increasing his angle. Goes behind the back. He scored righty. He scored lefty. And then the topper to go behind the back and finish it off. He certainly was hungry tonight.
3 goals in the victory for Cullen Lynch as Southside improves to 8-1 on the season. Smiles all around and business done for the Cyclones. Well, that'll do it for our entire crew here as well. It was a fun one, Tom, and always fun to be here with you as well. And for our entire team, led by our executive producer, Ben Turchin, Jeff Damo, and Kevin Catalanato, giving you the moving images for my partner Tom Rooney and technical director Becca Kazaks. This is John Perez saying so long from Southside High School. This has been a presentation of Nassau County Lacrosse on the Varsity Media Sports Network.